Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Matthew Baxter. Carolina Guevara will have a look at the latest highlights later today, but first, here's what we can expect. Carol?
Well, Matt, the Oilers have been getting absolutely crushed so far, and we have an MRU player that has been named CTV's Player of the Week.
Oh, how nice. We'll have a look at weather with Caden Kish later today, but first, here are our top stories. Healthcare in Alberta is about to look a lot different. The Alberta government announced plans today to make major changes to the way health services are delivered in our province. AHS is being dismantled while the government spreads out the current system's services to multiple new arms. 4 organizations will be in charge of different specialties, including primary care and acute care. It's believed the changes will impact as many as 250,000 health workers in Alberta. It seems you really can fight City Hall. The city released a plan to roll out a new parking charge earlier this year. It would see people in some Calgary communities having to pay a parking charge on a monthly basis for parking in front of their own house. Many Calgarians were outraged by the idea and made City Council aware of it with a petition containing thousands of signatures. The city decided to reevaluate the idea. It will cost you, but the charges are being rolled back by about 40%. The city released its new 4-year budget. It looks like the property taxes could increase by close to 6%. Experts are calling the timing of the proposed 5.7% hike tone deaf. Calgary currently has the 3rd highest cost of living in the country, and many residents are already feeling the effects of inflation. The tax hike has residents calling on City Council to reconsider as it comes at the peak of what many are calling a housing crisis.
My kids are they're asking where they're gonna live, and that's not something you want to hear your 6-year-old asking you.
Housing costs have been steadily rising throughout the last 2 years. In some cases, rents have doubled. The Lilydale poultry plant has been a part of the southeast community of Ramsey for almost 75 years, but today demolition is underway. The plant is being removed as part of a new Green Line LRT construction. The location of this Lilydale facility has been a source of complaints from the residents of Ramsey for decades. Smells, dust, and traffic congestions are just some of the things people who live there and have had enough of. Sofina Foods, which operated the plant, has acquired a new location in an industrial part of the city. We often report on traumatic events in our newscasts, but we don't often see art installations do the same thing. Reese Tenhove took a look at a new installation at Alberta University of Arts at the Reese, this sounds like something that will really get people thinking.
It really is, Matt. It's called How to Feel the Weight of the Moment, and this interactive exhibit is truly haunting. Albertan Christian Battle is a multimedia artist whose work focuses on disasters and how they affect the environment and people. Battle explores not only how disasters manifest, but how they are responded to and overcome. How to Feel the Weight of the Moment is the result of years of work and research and is one of a small selection of exhibits featured in the Illingsworth Kerr Gallery this year.
Gotten really good feedback from this show. We had over 180 people came to the opening, which was really awesome, and there's a lot of participatory projects with this show as well. So people are able to take away beeswax candles and little homemade air filters, and there was also a seed project, so people can take seeds and then participate by planting those seeds and mapping the coordinates of where those were planted.
The Illingsworth Kerr Gallery will be featuring Battle until November 18th. Back to you, Matt.
Thanks, Reese. As Reese mentioned, you still have 10 days to take in that fascinating exhibit. There's word this week we may soon see a big change to Calgary's Chinatown. There is a proposal to replace one of the oldest blocks in the area with a new tower. The Chinatown community has been alive and well in Calgary since the earliest days of our city. As Noah Eppelston reports, it has a rich history that showcased last spring in an exhibit at Heritage Park.
Chinese culture and heritage in Calgary dates back over 100 years and is still very prevalent today. But the Chinese community hasn't always gotten the respect they felt they deserved. The new exhibit at Heritage Park has done an excellent job in showing Calgarians what life was like for a Chinese immigrant in the early 1900s and why their heritage is so important to the city of Calgary today.
Chinatown's history is everybody's history in a sense, and history does tend to repeat itself. So, it's important that we learn the lessons of Chinatown. And for example, the anti-Asian hate didn't just start 2 years ago or with the Asian flu. I mean, it's a cycle that's been going on ever since the Chinese came to Calgary.
With how much Chinese culture has shaped Calgary and Western Canada, the Chinese community feels that they've been discriminated against for way too long. The exhibit at Heritage Park, although is just the beginning, has made Chinatown residents feel much more proud of their heritage.
And many are third or fourth generation here, and so the stories aren't being told, and we just kind of assume everyone's an immigrant when you look at them, but that's not true. Our history goes for decades, right?
The Chinatown exhibit here at Heritage Park has been open for 4 months now and is closing soon. It has made a profound impact on the community, and for as little as $15, you can come and experience all of the rich Asian heritage that's filled with it, and really soak in what life was like for the Asian community in the early days here in Calgary. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Noah Eppelston.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, here's Caden Kish with a look at what's going on this week in Calgary.
As we're inching closer to December, get into the Christmas spirit when Okotoks lights up the town with their festive lights and good vibes. Youth hockey talent from around the country will be battling it out at Winsport all weekend long in the Rocky Mountain House Classic. The games are free to attend to and fast-paced action, so make sure to check it out and support the up-and-coming athletes. Professional wrestling is back in Calgary with the Rage of the Cage event. Expect lots of mayhem as Can-Am's biggest stars get to work in the ring. Events are family-friendly and great for kids as it's non-stop fun. The Okotoks Christmas Market is a great way to get a head start on your Christmas shopping and avoid all those last-minute trips scouring empty shelves for gifts. The market offers plenty of knick-knack items and hidden gems to get for that special someone. Former star NFL quarterback Tim Tebow is coming to Calgary to share his story and wisdom at the church. Tebow's faith is one of the biggest reasons for his success, and now that his athletic career is over, he has begun a new journey in public speaking.
We have some great weather in Canada, and especially for the time that we're in right now, it is great to see these warm temperatures. Let's look across Western Canada, and as we start far west, we see a great 7 degrees in Vancouver. There is some rain going to be coming in Vancouver, so be ready to bust out your umbrellas, but I'm sure if you're in Vancouver, you're already ready for that. As we move along east, we see the temperatures cool down a little bit, but still, for November, I'm not complaining. Now as we look at the eastern part of Canada, we're going to see it start nice and cool up top, nice and warm up top, and as we go down, it gets cooler and cooler. With St. John's, we do have some rain, so again, be prepared for that, but as you go south, a little bit nicer. Now let's go all the way south and look at the resorts.
When you look south, it's nothing but a good time and warm weather. Palm Springs is sunny at 25, with Barbados being the hottest at 31. Cancun is slightly lower at 29. As we fly over the ocean, we see Honolulu at 24, and down southeast is Orlando at 27. The coldest is Las Vegas at 20 degrees.
Now let's take a look at Calgary. It ain't no Cancun, but we still are at 0 degrees, which you can't complain about. With the conditions, we do see some clouds in the sky, and the sun is going to be coming up later. And we do have some wind, so be prepared for that, but it's not too windy, so it shouldn't be anything you have to focus too much on. Now as we look across the province, we see it a little bit cooler up top, and as we go south there, it gets a little bit warm, which ain't too surprising. But in Calgary, we see it, one is the warmest. There's not much sun out right now, but the sun is going to come out as the weekend goes on, as the temperatures start to rise a little bit. Banff is a little bit cool, but there is that sun still there that you are not going to be, you can still enjoy. Now, after the break, we're going to come up with Caro, who has the sports. Oh, then we got the 5-day. So for 5 days, we got the weather is going to become higher, and you're going to see the sun start to come out more and more. So this weekend, make sure you take advantage of that sun. Don't let this warm weather go to waste. And now we're going to go to break, and we'll have Caro after with the sports.
What do you think of when you hear the word home? A place to rest? A place to play.
Good times.
A place for friends and family to gather. There are people in the city who unfortunately don't have that. They only have a house. WINS wants to change that. Donate household items to the House to Home program and help make a house a home again. It's only when you have homes that you have a community.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Carol Guevara joins us now for a look at our latest highlights. What's happening, Carol?
Well, like I said before, we have the Oilers getting totally beat. On Monday, the Oilers lost 6-2 against the Vancouver Canucks at the Rogers Arena. Everyone who saw the game Monday night with the Oilers versus Canucks game probably had a hard time understanding what was happening. Matthias Ekholm opened the scoring in the first 10 minutes of the game. Both teams had one power play goal each, with the Oilers having 54% possession throughout the game and 14 penalties, while the Canucks only had 8. The game finished with a 6-2 score for the Canucks. The 2 goals from the Oilers were from number 29 and 14. For the Canucks, number 6 scored 2 goals, the most from any player in the game. On Saturday, Canada took on Finland in the U21 division for the World Ringette Championship at Winsport. Finland opened the scoring 16 seconds into the game, setting the tone for the rest of the game as they won 8-4, taking home the gold medal and wrapping up the week-long event. This was the first time that Calgary had hosted and was the 50th anniversary of Ringette. The Memorial University's men's soccer team hosted their first Canada West soccer final on Saturday. They defeated the UBC Thunderbirds 1-0. The first half goal was scored by Ethan Keane, making it MRU's first championship game appearance and victory. Their 5-year winger Miguel de Rochas was named CTV's Player of the Week. The Venezuelan moved here looking for universities and managed to get his scholarship at MRU through soccer. The soccer team's coach, Ryan Giacchi, said that in a media release that just the idea of making the playoffs seemed impossible, and he is proud of his team for winning the Canada West title on Saturday. The Israeli men's soccer team will head over to a small Hungarian village to prepare to play its remaining home games in the Euro 2024 qualifying tournament. As fears of anti-Semitic acts across Europe rise, the concern for player safety is top priority right now. And even before last month's Hamas attack, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has promoted how safe his country is for Jews. Now Israel will the home games against Switzerland next Wednesday and Romania 3 days later as they chase the championship, their first game since joining the UEFA in 1994. 408 of Canada's top athletes competed in the Santiago 2023 Pan American Games. That closed on Sunday. The games in Santiago, Chile had our Canadian athletes taken home 164 medals, including 46 gold over the 16 days. One of the most recognizable athletes was Maggie McNeil, who won 5 gold medals, breaking Canadian record for a single Pan Am game. Another athlete was hammer thrower Ethan Katzberg, who was the first to surpass 80 meters at the Pan Ams. Our athletes secured Olympic spots in 12 events across a variety of sports, including equestrian, sailing, and shooting.
Thanks so much for joining us here on SAIT Newsfile. I'm Matthew Baxter.